Today is Friday, June 23rd, 2023, my birthday, and this is episode 223 of Maelstrom Radio.
Maelstrom Radio. With your hosts, Gladys and Shitter.
And welcome everybody to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Peter. With me, as always, my good friend and co-host Quentin. Also with us is birthday lady and producer SusanSprinkle.
Hi. I got to do the thing.
You got to do the thing.
Very exciting.
Also, we're using the Mortimer screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
OG.
yeah, OG Mortimer.
Well, not the OG Mortimer.
No,
You don't want that
Oh,
one
that's
on
true.
display. That one's not good.
it's
That
alright.
one's fine.
It's okay. It's you know,
It's in our Discord.
yes, yeah.
Is that the first time in 223 episodes that someone other than you has done the intro?
No, you've done it before.
Have you?
Okay.
I think Susan.
As I was saying that, I was thinking, yeah, maybe I have done it once.
Oh, the cameras went away.
The camera's
Oh,
away.
hey, went disappeared. We had this problem last week too, or 2 weeks ago. Remember?
Yeah. Well, this was me on accident just now. So
The
the last time really was a freak issue. This time my computer was restarted before the show. So we have audio. Everything's being recorded.
Yay.
We good. We're good. I'm good. They see us.
Yeah.
We good.
All right, so let's start things off with what have you guys been playing lately?
Do you want to kick it off since it's your birthday?
Yeah.
Well,
Put you on the spot.
what I haven't been playing that much of is Final Fantasy 14, other than to like put up some buffs and send out our submarines.
Okay.
But I have been playing some Blizzard games. I'll
Okay.
leave it at that.
Yep.
I haven't dipped back into Octopath Traveler. You'd think since I had this past week off
Yeah.
that I would have played it, but I don't know. I just haven't had time to I haven't had the right amount of time to just sit and get into it for a long chunk. It's like you can't just play it for a couple minutes and put it down. You got to devote some time, and I just haven't had the time to devote to it.
It's a long chunk game.
Got a whole weekend.
It's
I
true.
don't have a whole weekend. Do we have anything to do this weekend, Peter?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, good. So maybe I'll have some hours to add to the Octopath count for the next episode. We'll
There
see.
you go. 500 hours later.
What about you guys?
I played the Final Fantasy 16 demo. Did that.
And I feel like you're debating playing the game proper, but hours in the day.
I have it, so I bought it. So stream coming soonish. I won't say when. Maybe after this. Who knows? Who knows when it'll pop up? Just pay attention, because if I'm going in hard and fast.
Yeah, because the thing is, you just started Control not that long ago. I feel like maybe if you didn't start that, you could have jumped into this.
I could have.
We don't plan things out very well at Maelstrom Radio.
Well, it's because I had no
We do it on
intention.
co-op.
I had no intention of initially getting 16 right away, but then I played the demo and the demo was really good.
I mean, a lot of people are playing it, and
But-
a lot of people are enjoying it.
Guess what though? I'm gonna write that whole thing out and point out anytime I don't see a brown person. So
Fair, as
So
you should.
you
I
just
mean,
did a
that's-
constant stream.
yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched anyone's streams of it at all because I've been waiting to see if you're going to play it or not, or if I should just go watch Jesse Cox's playthrough instead. But
So hold on to your
what I've
butts.
seen, I haven't seen any people of color of any kind.
So if it's happening, it's
Oh, Chili found an NPC named Quentin that he calls Shinter. That's cool.
Also, Nick, just call it Quentin.
yeah. It's fair.
That works.
We played more Monster Hunter. Feel like we're semi okay Monster Hunters.
That can be debatable, but yeah.
So
It's
does that game have an end?
Yes.
Story wise, yes.
There's a story?
Yeah.
Okay.
The story is you hunt monsters and then you level up, and then you hunt more monsters and you level up, and you're just trying to save the village.
Yeah,
presumably.
there's the story in the village itself, right? Like the village itself has got a loose story. I would say it's a storyline. It's not like a Final Fantasy story where it's like these heartfelt characters. No, you're just like, thank you for helping the village from the slime.
Have some more Meowchi.
Yeah. Have a dango.
Is there anything else I played? I played a little bit of Noita last night. Just jumping, because sometimes you like pain, and so. And I found out that I had turned on the Twitch integration and didn't turn it off. So that if you want to play Noita with extra spicy time.
Oh, because it keeps going regardless of people.
Yeah, and if no one votes, guess what? It just randomly chooses things. So at one point I was like jumping through the world and I was about to land in water. It selected get rid of all liquids. So that did not end well for me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, the liquids. So there's that. I got a new monitor. It's very big. It takes up a lot of room on my desk. So that's fun. Just heads up, if you get a 32-inch monitor, just beware that it is big. It is a big thing. So
yes.
So just in case you weren't aware, big monitor, big. So
thanks, Costco.
Yeah, thanks, Costco. That's what I did. This is what I did this week. That's what I did. Oh, I paid.
It's not this week. It's since the last episode.
I mean, mostly this week. Still, that's mostly what I did these last 2 weeks. I also paid a lot of pangolin. Yeah. Peglin.
Oh boy. No, Peglin.
Okay, Peglin, which is
a
don't roll the game
roguelike game.
Yeah,
it's a phone game.
But it's also on Steam, and I got it on Steam when I bought it on Steam because I was
stream that.
It's fun. It's so fun.
It is fun.
Okay,
for the little game.
All right, if you've never played Peggle, it's Peggle, but you're a little I guess goblin.
Goblin. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a little goblin, and you're on an adventure.
You're Ash.
Yeah.
Sorta. Except this goblin's nice. And you're on a little adventure. You go through like a little fantasy setting. It's very nice. Like it's fun, and you get like your little round balls are like have special skills. So you can get a swarb, which is a sword orb, and which I like, or a dag orb, which is a dagger orb, and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's like Peggle with a fantasy spin to it.
Yeah, and it's roguelike, and it's fun. It's good times.
I have it on my phone, but I would be interested in a Steam version.
So, A plus.
I'd be less interested in that sort of
I
stream.
feel like you're not a phone game person.
I don't generally play games on my phone a whole lot.
So you have a lot of restraint when it comes to your phone. It seems like.
I do have a few games on my phone that I play sporadically, but I don't tend to play games on my phone because I'm generally home all the time. So I have a computer, I have a Switch.
Meanwhile, Peter and I will both be sitting on a couch playing phone games on our phone while watching TV.
If you want to go,
watching someone play a video game on TV as we're playing on our phone.
Or watching somebody eat food at Disney and tell us about it.
Yeah, that's our life. We're cool.
Shout out to Mr. Morrow, paging Mr. Morrow.
Maybe you'll hear this. He's a podcaster now.
It's true. They're starting a podcast. Not oddly enough, not about Disney. Just about travel.
I'd be less inclined to watch you play like a roguelike Peggle, and I'd be more interested in watching you absolutely all. And even Noita, I would much rather watch you suffer with something like Brotato.
Yeah, I just posted that in our Discord. There's a new like Vampire Survivors like game, but you play as a potato.
It's a Soulsborne.
Soulsborne. I have to try the life.
No one described it as a Souls-like game.
I have to try the Lies of P demo.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not a potato.
No, instead you're sexy Pinocchio with a gun arm or whatever.
Hot Nokia.
Like
that sounds like potato.
Timothy Chalamet Pinocchio.
Timothy Chalamet. I don't think that's what he looks like.
Oh.
Timothy Chalamet.
Now Peter's gonna go search this up.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, hold it. Also, do you know he was in a movie called Wonka?
Yes.
Focusing on a young Willy Wonka and how he came to meet the Oompa Loompas on his earliest adventures. What?
I didn't know that movie existed.
Okay, no, I did not know, but I remember hearing about that movie. Like, it sounds familiar, but I do not.
Oh, wait, I think it might be coming out this year.
No.
Oh yeah, release date December 15th, 2023. It's coming out this year.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet is Willy Wonka.
Get the inside scoops on new movies from Maelstrom Radio.
Hugh Grant is an Oompa Loompa.
You know, I can see that.
Ryan got
Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa. Oompa Loompa. Ryan Gosling's in it. I don't know what he's doing today.
Okay.
Actually, there's a good number of
Rowan Atkinson's the priest
in here.
Matt Lucas is in it.
All right, come on, guys, focus. We got a podcast. We're not a movie podcast. We're a video game podcast.
Okay.
No, but we might have to cover this later.
Yeah.
Quentin.
Also, I want to point out.
What are you playing?
But before I say what I've been playing, I do want to point out Doctor Deliciousness as Payescio. It's not Pinocchio. It's Payescio.
Payescio.
Okay.
Kind of sounds like Paesa, but anyways, I've been playing Guild Wars 2. Surprise, surprise. This last week, I've not actually been playing a whole lot of anything, so it's kind of been a quiet week. But mostly Guild Wars 2. I did, I think, jump into Honkai Star Rail earlier for a couple hours this week. And then because I got an email of like, hey, come back to Genshin for a little bit and like we'll get you stuff. I'm like, okay. So I hopped in, I grabbed the free stuff, made a few rolls, got the 5-star Canadian boy, and then left.
Okay.
So I was happy.
He
I got
specifically
the character
described as Canadian.
No, he's not Canadian whatsoever.
Okay.
Let me send you the picture and you'll understand.
Yeah, please share it with our audience.
What's his name?
Canadianness.
Kazuha.
Kaz.
Kazuha.
I'm waiting
Here,
for
Susan. I'll post it in the chat. Oh.
Oh, I can look wherever. You tell me where to go.
Yeah.
Put it in plan.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
He's Canadian. He's Canadian boy.
Uh-huh.
Aw.
The color scheme, the leaves, like
he's autumn come to reality.
Yeah, exactly.
If autumn was a sexy boy, this is what it would look like.
Show title. If autumn.
Oh,
Very sexy boy.
yeah.
Okay.
And you know what's funny? Birthday, October 29th. Guess what? Autumn. Model
True,
type.
yeah.
Model type, medium male. I'm on the Genshin Impact wiki and I just like model type is medium male.
I mean, yeah. I'm kind of curious what other model types there are now.
Yeah, I'm also wondering. Is there a large male?
Hi guys, we're doing a podcast.
I mean, technically it's about video games.
Okay, there is tall male, tall female, medium female, and short female. There are no short male playable characters.
Darn. No short men exist in this world.
Nope.
I know that they exist. They're just not playable characters.
No, they're not worth playing.
Yeah. No short kings in Genshin Impact.
Which is surprising because a lot of them, even the playable characters, are very, very short.
It's true.
Chili's sad too.
Yeah.
But I could also see them consider like a short. Actually, no, that makes sense. Based on the characters I'm familiar with, a short male character would basically be a child.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want
So like we're talking like 4 feet and under short, as opposed to like.
There's 4 feet tall men.
But there are. I'm just saying that there's no characters, no playable characters that are like that.
Come on, Genshin, do it.
As effectively.
Oh well. What are you gonna do?
Now you're making me try to go back up and look up a character.
It's short. It's fine.
Because 100%. No, he's medium 2. He should be short.
We're gonna have to start incorporating an element into the show where we just have like a screen that shows what you're googling, because this seems to happen a lot lately, where you go down these rabbit holes.
It does no, because the audio person, the audio person's not gonna see it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I mean that'll
On
just
second thought, I
encourage
don't-
more people to watch our videos on YouTube or show up live.
I don't know if we want a live stream feed of what Peter is searching.
No, yeah, we don't want that. We don't
I
want
mean,
this.
you'll use an incognito window when you do show stuff.
Oh no! What? I don't think
That's not the concern.
that's not the
Well,
concern.
just so his other stuff doesn't like automatically fill
The
in.
concern is what I'm searching during the show, which sometimes
Yeah.
is not great because sometimes I'm typing in like, Potato Man or whatever, and what I might see is not good because I'll click on a Reddit link just to see. What I do during the show and what happens on the show are two different things.
Okay.
It's all right. A lot of it maybe not safe because also I can't control what I click on, right? I can click the link. I don't know what's gonna pop up.
No, it's that you can control what you click on.
I do.
It's gonna be under the link.
But I'm still gonna click it. And Twitch might not like what I give it, so we're not gonna do that. So,
Okay. Noted.
all right. Are we gonna talk about the Nintendo Direct, or do you want to not talk about the Nintendo Direct?
I mean,
Did
now that
you,
you've mentioned it, we
Did
can.
you watch it or listen to it, Clinton?
I did not. I heard a few things about it, like the Mario.
Yeah, there's some.
I can't remember which
there's
one.
some
One of the
weird
Mario,
Mario
remake.
things.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people
Like-
excited for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a remake, and then there's also like a new game.
Mario was never one of my series that I really played a lot of.
What's the new one called?
Played a little
Mario
bit, but-
Wonder.
A wonder,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering.
It looks- it looks weird.
I'm wondering what they got going on there because it's a lot. It's a lot.
You can be
I mean-
Elephant Mario.
You can be Elephant Mario. That's a new thing.
Yeah.
Drug-filled
Chili
Mario.
says
I
yes,
mean-
Wonder, the drug-filled Mario.
What I am.
Hey, hold on a second.
Yeah.
What Mario is not drug fueled?
Mario
Okay,
Tennis.
what mainstream Mario? Because you
Oh.
could
I mean,
definitely
they're
make an
all kind of
argument for like
trippy.
Mario Tennis,
Okay.
but like every single mainline Mario game is pretty out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of Mario news. Like Chili mentioned, Peach is going to be getting her own.
Yeah,
game.
Peach is getting her own game. Mario Wonder, Daisy's gonna be playable. I'm excited for, and
She's strong.
and I can't underestimate this at all. I am hugely excited for the remake of Super Mario RPG. Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't know if Square Enix is involved because Square Enix helped create the original, right?
I would assume they have to be somewhat involved.
Because the secret boss was God.
I mean, what game doesn't have God as a boss now?
Super Mario RPG. Now, if you were willing to find the secret boss, you fought God, and it was a very Square Enix boss, like God. Like, it was not like anything you would see. So Super Mario RPG secret boss is go search that. It's
Yeah, Chili said the original never came out in Europe.
yeah, well, it's because of God. So it's wild, right? Like it is. I just need to find a picture, and I'll send you both the picture.
So looking through the games that they kind of were talking about in there, like Gloomhaven is interesting because that was an interesting game in general. Palia, like, of course, I was excited because I saw that they announced that they were releasing on Switch this year.
I
Yeah.
feel like I wouldn't want to play that on
Which-
Switch though.
Really, I feel like that game would fit fairly well for the Switch. I kind of like that Animal
Well, because
Crossing.
like it's, but I thought it's supposed to be more like a MMO where you just don't have to really fight much.
Which might work well for the Switch.
True.
It's definitely it's a thing. So,
But the one that jumps out at me out of all of these is Luigi's Mansion, because like Luigi's Mansion is a vastly underrated series.
it very so much so. It's so good. So good.
Very good.
First of all, the soundtrack. That alone is worth playing Luigi's Mansion for. Every time that the doctor calls you, it's always got a new Game Boy remix. It's so good. So good.
I think I've only played the first one. I don't even know if I beat it.
By the way, I sent you both a picture of Culex, which is the
Yeah, I see the god.
the Dark Knight of Vanda. Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay. That doesn't look like a Mario boss.
no, that's a Square Enix boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's one of those Easter eggs that someone left in and then forgot to take out beforehand, and they shipped it.
yeah, it was very much like the secret final boss of Super Mario RPG was that. And you're just like, okay, guess I'll fight God.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this?
Oh, and speaking of Mario and going back to movies again, Peter and I watched the Mario Brothers movie.
Oh yeah, it was good.
It was pretty good. Like, I don't know if I'd rewatch it, but like, I'm glad that I watched it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Can someone explain how Nintendo Direct actually promoted like a complete Genshin ripoff?
What was the Genshin ripoff? I don't remember. Did I not see that? Was I not paying attention?
Silent Hope.
Silent
Oh
Hope.
yeah, where like there's no talking and like the princess has tears.
Oh, I thought that was just like a regular RPG. I thought that was going to be.
Like, look at Silent Hope, like down to the fact that the character here they have named as Wanderer,
Mm-hmm.
which is very similar to the Traveler,
Yeah.
or Wanderer, who's another character. But like even the UI, the menus, the fact that everything looks almost exactly like a simplified version of Genshin, down to
Mm-hmm.
like the menu elements. It is
Yeah.
even like the world.
Like, I don't know enough about Genshin, I guess, to realize that it looks so similar. We just thought it was some weird anime game.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no,
No
it
one
is.
talks, and there's a princess.
To
who
be
wants the
fair.
crystal of her own tears.
Yeah. Silence befalls your. Also, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 5.
Yeah, there's so much.
I don't care about the Mario Kart stuff as much.
I do.
People still do.
Vampire.
There's so many DLCs and add-ons and whatnot for Mario Kart 8 at this point.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors is coming to Switch with co-op built in. So
Yeah, you could play up to four
That I
people.
saw.
and co-op will be coming to the Steam edition as well, so you can. And they said that like right now there's no online for it yet, but there is workarounds if you use like the Steam like.
So we're gonna have
Plot play
Team MR
or local play?
Vampire Survivor night.
I mean, it
Okay.
theoretically could work because it's not that heavy of a game. So
But we already have it on Steam, so could we just not use that?
no, that's what I'm saying. We use that and use the
Oh, yeah.
Switch. Yeah, the Switch, whatever. So
Wait, no, we just use the local play.
yeah, the local play.
No Switch involved.
Sorry, I keep saying. Sorry. I'm sorry. Also, Detective Pikachu returns this October. So
I saw that. I was at first I was like, ooh, this is interesting, but then like
Yeah, I didn't know anything
we'll
about
see.
Detective Pikachu. And then
That's-
all of a
and this
sudden
is
he's,
the
like, drinking
sequel.
Coffee.
yeah, Detective
Like,
Pikachu's
okay.
great. Yeah, Detective Pikachu's actually good. There is a big push to have Danny DeVito play Detective Pikachu. Not only in the movie, but also the games. They still want Danny DeVito to voice Detective Pikachu. because they feel Danny DeVito sounds a little like Detective Pikachu. And
They already have a voice actor for it.
I know. But the internet wants what the internet wants. They want Danny DeVito to be.
Why?
They want Danny DeVito to be.
They already have a good
No.
actor.
Danny DeVito. I don't know why. They have nothing against the voice actor. They have nothing against the voice actor, but they really want Danny DeVito. There's something about Danny DeVito that they want attached to Pokemon, and it's and I don't know why it's Detective Pikachu.
Okay, I agree. He should be attached to Pokemon, but not as Pikachu.
Okay.
I mean, they should put him in as something, as like a little Easter egg.
Yes.
To appease the fans.
There should be. He should get his own Pokemon. Like we already have.
He should be
Pikachu.
Can he please be?
Yes, he should be Ash.
No, I have a better idea. What if they did like a live remake of the Pokemon movie? Well, when where like Mew like figures out that like humanity should
Danny
be.
DeVito is the Mewtwo.
Yeah, he's the Mewtwo, and he makes
I
that
can
monologue
see that
about human suffering.
No, I can 100% see that. As soon as you said it, I'm like, that's also valid.
Yeah, perfect.
That might work a little bit better than Ash too.
Yeah. I believe I don't know when this came out. Never mind. I thought Legend of Zelda: The Four Swords is coming to Game Boy Advance, but it's not yet. So sad times.
No.
Oh, come on.
It is coming eventually, but not yet.
Let's sigh. All right. Well, other than that, Sonic Front. We saw more Sonic, which is gonna have on
I don't
couch.
know, Chili. He just says things sometimes.
Yeah, no.
You said that it was coming out for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, Game Boy Advance Switch Online.
The Switch emulator.
The emulator.
Okay.
Yeah. What my statement stands should be true.
I don't think that the Advance emulator exists on Switch yet.
It is. It came out in February.
Did it? Oh.
Yeah.
I knew the other Game Boy ones did. I didn't think the Advance had come out yet.
Advance came out. They have WarioWare's on there with the micro mini games, Kurin, Super Mario Kart Circuit, Mario Luigi Superstar Saga, which is a great game, and Minish Cap, which is also a great game. So
yeah, I need to play that one day.
So coming soon. Yeah, I don't see. Golden Sun. I'm sorry. I love Golden Sun. Such a good RPG.
Oh wait, sorry.
Sorry, I get excited when I see Golden Sun.
Okay, so before you guys get into more Google holes, I have a thing.
Okay.
And I mean, we usually try to keep the show at like an hour, and I don't think that's gonna happen because.
Well, we did start 20 minutes late.
Yeah, we started late. It's fine. Susan, I got a quick question before you start your thing.
Okay.
What did you think about Pikmin? Like, what are your thoughts about what a Pikmin is? What do you think?
I've never played a Pikmin game, and really the only things I know about Pikmin are through Arlo, who I watch on YouTube. I enjoy his content, and he like can put out like a 4-hour video just talking about like the Pikmin trailer. Like he's very into Pikmin. It doesn't look like a game for me, but I'm happy for the people that are excited about it. Like the characters are like weird and cute. Like it looks quirky.
It was quirky.
Like, have any of you played Pikmin or enjoy?
I played Pikmin 1.
Enjoyers?
Yeah, I played the original.
I played the original
Not a
Pikmin.
lot, but
I realized that it's a Nintendo's version of like an RTS game without being an RTS game, if that makes sense.
I don't think it's RTS. It's not real time.
It's not real time, but it's
definitely strategy.
It's a strategy, but it's like a Nintendo's like spin on an RTS. Like they saw RTS.
Nintendo's spin on an RTS is Mario vs. Rabbids.
Is that real time strategy or just that's a turn based? Let's still
it's turn-based strategy. You're right.
Turn-based strategy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, today we learned there are many types of strategy.
The Batman Arkham trilogy is coming to Switch, and I don't know what that's gonna look like. So, but if you've never played it,
I mean, it's not gonna look as good as it does on PC. So
it's very true. But if you don't have a PC and you had a Switch, you never played that series, go play it. It's a very good series. So, all right, Susan,
you're watched it.
I'll take your word for it. All right, so
watch someone play it.
There we go. Watch a video.
so dismissive. Just like, yeah, go watch a video. Nobody
Go watch
cares.
this thing.
Nobody
We don't
cares.
All right. So when I come on the show, I can't rely on my own devices to carry content. So I have to like do some stuff. So instead of a game, I decided that we're gonna do a session of "Am I the Asshole?" Video game edition.
Okay.
So I scoured the internet for some.
Here, I'll save time. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this like the internet version? Because the answer is generally yes.
So I scoured the internet to find some queries of people asking if they are the asshole that are involved like video game related things. So we'll see how
Yes.
many we could get through. I have a few, but depending time wise and stuff.
We got time.
Chili's like,
Finally,
"Fine,
I'll learn if I'm an
learn
ass.
if I'm
Chili,
an
you are
ass."
not an ass.
Okay, so
Chili's just the whole.
yeah. Okay, so the
I mean,
first
based on
one-
Yes.
D&D,
Okay, you guys ready? I'm gonna talk for a while.
yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Shoot.
So the first one is from a 20-something-year-old female whose boyfriend is a 20-something-year-old male who is an avid gamer and
Mhm.
plays at least 4 or 5 times a week.
Okay.
She's more of a self-described book nerd, but likes to play video games occasionally. So they're inviting some friends over for a game night, and she was telling him how excited she was. And even though she's not a gamer, she still likes video games, so it'll be fun. He starts saying that since he's my boyfriend, it's okay to say that around him, but she shouldn't say that she likes video games around other gamers. He says that she barely plays games, and that when she does, it's just Minecraft or Mario games. She said to him that she doesn't have to be a florist to say she likes flowers, so why are video games any different? So she ended up just dropping the conversation and going to a different room because she felt bad. And it's been awkward between the two of them ever since. So is she the asshole?
No.
No. He's 100%.
Yeah, like, who are these gamers that are like, that would feel offended if someone said they like video games even though they didn't play a lot of video
So-
games?
I think I have some of an answer. There are gamers and then there's gamers. And the way you can differentiate between these is there's gamers and then there's gamers, but the gamers are with a capital G, and those are the ones that tend to like to gatekeep. And like if they are not their specific brand of like hardcore, you play 24/7 the exact right games, which typically are something like Call of Duty, then you're not a gamer.
Yeah, to be like, oh honey, don't say that around the other people. You can
I-
say that around me.
You just play like Minecraft, one of the most popular games in the
Yeah,
past decade.
it still is the popular. Like, it's just. And in Mario games, like, without Mario, like, if Mario didn't save the video game industry back when it launched, like, we wouldn't have a Call of Duty. So, sir, you're the asshole.
And now, to be fair, I am stereotyping the fact that like, I don't know if he plays Call of Duty.
Yeah, we don't
Just
know.
saying, That's just one of those things that it tends to be people in that crowd.
It doesn't matter what game you play. You're like, if all my grandfather played was like Punch Out, it's because that's his favorite game, right? He's still a
That's
game.
your grandpa's favorite game?
My Willow, yeah. He loves Punch Out, and he likes anything
Solid
where
choice.
yeah, and he also likes anything with boxing. So like he also liked Ready to Rumble on the Dreamcast. Like I would bring my Dreamcast over and he played Ready to Rumble. So he wasn't good at it, but he played it. So
Now, to be fair, if you just played Microsoft Solitaire or the pinball game,
Or
you might be
Minesweeper?
questionable calling yourself a gamer, but I mean, you do you. We're not gatekeeping if you want to call yourself a gamer and you only play Solitaire. You may get judged for it, but
yeah.
So the consensus is that she is not an asshole. He is an asshole.
Yes.
Very
Yeah. If that's usually the question is, am I? No. Him? Yes.
Okay, let's see. Our next one. Okay, this one's a little long, but I thought it was interesting, so I'm going to go with it. Okay, so I'm going to read directly their words. I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind over this feud, so I need strangers' opinions.
Okie
I
dokie.
am a 24-year-old male and moved in with my 25-year-old boyfriend a few months ago. A few weeks ago, while we were having breakfast, he asked if he could ask something important. He asked me if I am in any way attracted to girls. I said no. Then he asked me if I am thinking of identifying as one or considering changing my sex. I again said no and asked where this was coming from. He said, "Well, I noticed you play as females in video games quite a bit, and it made me think that you're either bisexual or identify as female, and those are things I really need to know, and I want you to be honest with me about this." I bluntly told him that's ridiculous, and I quickly changed the subject. For context, I've been playing games like Horizon Zero Dawn and Tomb Raider, two games that star female protagonists, and other fighting and JRPGs that have fan servicey female characters. I never thought anything about it ever and still don't. I also do not exclusively play as women, in case anyone asks. We have a gaming room with a TV for each, and every now and then he will occasionally make remarks when he sees me in control of a female character, but I shut it down each time because I do not see how this is a big deal. Last night we were playing our respective games and talking, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw him bolt out of the room. I followed him and found him sitting on our bed, visibly shaking and close to tears. I embraced him and asked what was wrong, and he glared at me and said, "The lady on the screen had way too big of tits. Why did you play as her?" I snapped because he looked like there was something, seriously wrong, and I couldn't believe that that is making him cry of all things. He called me dishonest about my sexuality or gender identity, and again told him that this is all in his head, and if this is not the stupidest argument I've ever had, then it's easily in the top 5. He kicked me out of the room and he locked it, and he hasn't spoken to me since. So I don't know how long, like, maybe to this day that he's still locked in the room. I don't know. Even though I think this is incredibly ridiculous, I reached out to our mutual friend about it, and she sided with him, thinking it was weird and that I should just stop to keep the peace. My parents admit that they had the same theories that my boyfriend did when I was still living with them growing up, but never actually saw it as a problem, so I don't know if I'm missing something here. Am I the asshole?
No.
No. No. It's first of all, you're not like, you're choosing to play the games not based on the main protagonist, right? You're playing it based on, like, all right,
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes you do.
Female.
But yeah, but you're like, for example, right? Tomb Raider, right? Tomb Raider, I don't think that let's specifically say, like, it sounds like they're into, like, these adventure type games where, like, it's like exploration and there's like an action adventure.
Mhm.
I don't think that, Lara Croft or was it Eloy? Is that her name? I think that's Alloy. That, I don't think that's the reason why. I mean, maybe it is, but I don't think that's the reason they're going into this, right? Like, they're bigger blockbuster games, and you're going in because you like that style of game, right? Like, there's a bit of adventure to it, a little puzzle solving. There's action. Again, with like, you can't control the fan service that a game puts into it. Like, you can't control that. Like, if you want to play a JRPG, there's probably gonna be a little fan service-ness in there, and or any RPG for that matter. There just might be.
Side note: more equal opportunity fan service.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. Completely agree. I think even the modern Tomb Raider has stepped away, I think, greatly from older Lara Croft, right? Like, they try to normalize Lara as a strong, independent woman, less so on her assets, I'm going to say. And Alloy has always been just a survivor, right? Like, I don't think they've ever sexualized Alloy in any way.
No.
I think it's more of the insecurities of that person's partner, and I think even more so the insecurities of their mutual friend, right? Like, if your friend and your partner have those insecurities.
They said that, like, my parents even, like, thought that was weird, which, I don't know.
You can control.
I think that's less.
You can control the media you play, right? But sometimes you can't control what the media puts into their, like, what the developers put into their games, their artists, who they develop for their game. And what people see on the outside, they're just seeing the base level, right? They're not scratching the surface, like, is Alloy lesbian? Like, we don't know. Like, if we don't, you don't know how many layers deep that goes, and like they're just seeing like woman on screen. That's it. So,
And in terms of like, it's not necessarily even, how did you phrase it? Insecurities, right? Like that could be like in the case of the boyfriend, the friend, that probably somewhat related, but also just like if you aren't playing things that are traditionally seen as gender stereotyped to what people believe is your gender or sexuality, it tends people like immediately start questioning all of that. Like you like even think of like children, right? If a boy is playing with traditionally girly stuff, people immediately start questioning about that and look at that as like, why is he doing that? What's the problem? So it's kind of the same thing here. Like one of the reasons why I know a lot of people like playing female characters is because unfortunately they have significantly better customization options.
fair. It's
And
true.
we all know that character customization is the number one gameplay mechanic, followed by glamoring, which also has the same issue.
This is why games should be more like Monster Hunter, where the men and women get all the same customization. Like doesn't matter. You can get the same hairstyles and colorings and.
Agree on that, but disagree on the Monster Hunter part because Monster Hunter really does not have a lot of good character customization in general.
It really doesn't. But hey, I could have all the female hair I want. So,
That's true.
so props to them. At least they tried. Also, I don't know if the armor looks different on a female character in that game. I wonder if it. If it doesn't, then good on them. Like if it just normalizes it, other than like body type, then meh. I don't know. Everyone just play Minecraft. Everyone's a block. Like, just go play that.
Everyone be Steve.
Everyone be Steve. That's it. Or the lady. I forgot her name now. Like, there's other not Steve.
I don't know. All I know is Steve. I know there's a couple characters. All I remember is Steve.
Steve and if I type Steve and other one, it's not gonna give me what I want. Minecraft.
You need to search Minecraft characters.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to go.
Well, like,
it's very hard to like say things like this.
Is in Minecraft, like, is there a mode where you don't make your own character?
Yeah, you can play as Steve, and I think it's
Steve is the default skin.
Stevette.
Stevette. No, no. There's Steve, Alex. Alex is the other one. Nor, Sunny, Ari, Zuri, Makina, Kai, and Effie. Now there's 9 different characters you can be.
Is it that like in original Minecraft you couldn't make your own character, so you had to be Steve?
You had to be Steve. Originally, you had to be Steve.
Originally, yeah. Before they had modding out, then yeah.
Yep. Okay. And then they added skins you can make, and then you can make your own character. So if you're savvy in that way, which I'm not. So.
Fun fact: Steve is also canonically Arrow Ace.
It's true. Also, there's the weird horror character in that game that doesn't exist. So yeah, there's like a Yeah, no, it was oh god, what was the name?
At least it's not Ben.
Steve with white eyes.
It's still Pride Month.
Hero Brian. Yes. Yeah.
Hero Brian.
Hero Brian. Yeah. Hero Brian was a Steve with like white eyes that was not real. Like people would imagine like Minecraft could be a very chilling game. Like people find Minecraft if you play Minecraft by yourself, it could be very upsetting because it's
Enderman, creepers.
Well, that doesn't bother me as much. It's like people say like it's like that doesn't bother them as much as the dead silence of the game, that there's nothing going on. That scares them more because there's something.
And you suddenly hear something.
Yeah, because it gives you the Minecraft, and it's related to something.
So do people like theorize that secretly Minecraft is like a weird horror game? That they just haven't found the true
Hero Brian does not exist. So like the creators have said like that does not exist in the coding. There's not.
So remember the strange music discs?
That is true, but that's them messing around. Like that was. Now Microsoft owns it. I don't know. Now there's frogs, so and pandas. Ben Drowned is different.
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other. That's
much for me.
you know it got updated recently?
Ben Drowned got updated?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right.
I haven't followed any of it. I just know of it like through second or third hand stuff.
I
But
mean,
yeah, it's a whole thing.
That's okay. I'm deep in the world of SCP.
But yeah, no, it got updated like last year, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
All right,
You wanna do
Susan.
another one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, I got 2 more. We'll see. We'll do one and we'll go from there. Which one do I want to do?
You can do speed around.
Okay, so this is from a 34-year-old female who has a very spoiled 13-year-old son. In our home,
Okay.
we absolutely love gaming when we have the chance. So my son has access to all of our game systems. He mostly plays the PS5, but occasionally will play the Switch. A big rule I have for my Switch, he accidentally broke his, is absolutely no Fortnite. He has it on every system he can get it on, but I don't want it on mine, nor do I have the space. She's currently at home with a very needy newborn who won't nap unless she's holding them. And this is after 5 months of strict bed rest while she was pregnant. So, as you can imagine, I've been getting a lot of time to play on the Switch. But when my son asked to use it to play a game, I gave it to him. Upon getting it back this morning, I went to play Stardew Valley to find half of my games were uninstalled and Fortnite was installed on it. I was aggravated, but whatever. I was stressed and I just wanted to relax, so I deleted Fortnite and its data. When I launched my game, all of my progress was gone.
Oh no.
Her whole farm. I checked my other games to find the same. Long story short, I had a stern talk with my son and grounded him from all the systems. As you can imagine, he was furious. He yelled, went to his room, and slammed the door. Next thing I know, I got a call from my mom saying games are meant for kids and I need to get over it and give her grandbaby his games back. I told her absolutely not, and then grounded my son from his phone as well. My mom is still blowing up my phone and threatening to come save her grandbaby since I can't grow up and parent properly. Am I the asshole?
No.
Nope, the mother is.
Nope. Grandma is.
And the son's the
Yeah.
asshole. It's
Yeah.
like, you got every other system. You gotta
Like-
put Fortnite on your mom's Switch
So
and delete her damn Stardew farm. That's
yeah,
how much work you have to put in those farms.
Stardew Farms a lot. That's a
Hey, to be fair, cloud saves.
that
Cloud saves.
that's true. Yeah, absolutely. So
Hey.
clearly didn't pay for Nintendo Online, and
I can see, like, I blame the kid less. Like, yes, it was kind of a bad thing to do, but like they made a mistake. They get punished for it. You learn, you move on. And like I think she handled it fairly well. Like, yeah, you lose all those hours and hours and hours, and I can completely relate to losing all of that progress, especially in Stardew. But she didn't, like, she was sounded relatively
Yeah,
calm
what
and
if
just
she
like,
lost
don't do
progress
this.
on
And
the people that she was romancing.
you get to romance them again later. But yeah, and that's the kind of thing. Like, yes, like it sucks, but like she said, it's a game. You can go and play it again and get back to that point if you really wanted to. If you wanted to.
And it sounds like she did handle the situation correctly. It's more like her son went above her head and went to grandma and was like, "Grandma."
Yeah, and grandma's just like, "Why are you playing video games? Just let the kids."
Calling out, like, and even then, like, I can see the son's upset, so calling grandma to see if grandma will fix it. Not the worst thing in the world. Is it a great thing that he did? No. Should he have? Probably not. If he got punished by taking the phone away, I think that's a reasonable thing. The fact that grandma, who is presumably an adult, older than both of them, decided to side with the child and then constantly blew up the phone of the person who should be having the ultimate say and is just like trying to undermine her. Yeah, no, she's an asshole. There's no question there.
Yeah, grandma's the asshole. Kid,
he's kind of an asshole, but he's young.
He's young. He's a kid.
Made a mistake. He's not an asshole. He's just he made a mistake, and hopefully he's learned not to do that again.
Hopefully,
if he did it again now out of spite, that would be an asshole.
Then you send him to military camp.
No.
Then you send him to a real farm. You make him play Minecraft, but
Throw
only
him out of a bus in the sky and send him on his way.
wave to the bus driver.
Yeah.
Mwah. All right, what's the next one? What you got? Another one?
All right, yeah, I got one more. Okay. This is from a 20-something-year-old female who has a 30-something-year-old boyfriend. Okay. So this is their words.
That's a very vague age gap. 20-something-year-old and then 30-something-year-old. So 20 and 39. What are we talking? Okay.
Okay. So this may be petty and irrational, but I need advice, so here I go. We have been together for 7 years and have lived together for 6. We have a great relationship and only have minor fights that feel normal for most couples. About me, I have... Excuse me. I have to drink water.
Slurp. Apologize to everybody. I'm not listening to that on the podcast because I'm not going to try to find it and erase it.
My straw sound. Okay. I have sickle cell, asthma, ADHD, anxiety, and depression. I know this sounds like a lot, but I cope and live a mostly happy, healthy life. So the problem is that I often get really excited for things, like a new video game, that I can't wait to play. However, this can often be followed by the inability to play it as I get overwhelmed. So knowing that this would happen, I decided to give myself a few days after the game arrives to play it so I wouldn't get overwhelmed. I told my boyfriend and he said he understood. I did at first ask him not to play, but I changed my mind thinking this wouldn't be fair. However, my boyfriend had started playing the game at first. He didn't say much, but after a couple hours, he started to ask me when I would play the game. I said I didn't know and that I would play when I was ready. After that, he was nonstop asking me when I would play the game. He was relentless, and I couldn't take it, so I told him to stop. I said the more he pushed, the more I didn't want to play, but he wouldn't stop for weeks. Until finally today, I said I don't want to play anymore, and he didn't stop. I would destroy the game. He said I was being crazy and mad for no reason, and I've been ignoring him since this happened. Am I the asshole for shouting and ignoring him?
No.
I have thoughts on this. So
I also
go ahead.
I mean, good on her for like trying to come up with like coping methods for how
yes. You know, and you know, by Maelstrom Radio, positive. Go seek therapy if you have the means to do so. Like always, like.
And it sounds like this person like knows her.
Yes. Yep.
Like she knows what she has, and she tries her best to like cope with the hand that she's dealt with.
And this is her side, right? Like we don't know how. It's hard, right? Because we don't know how the other is expressing their want. Like what we don't know what game, which I don't think really plays into it, but it could be like maybe it's like something.
Well, it's like when we were all doing Endwalker, like we wanted to do it together. So like, if all of a sudden I was like super excited about playing Endwalker with you guys, and then it came out, and then I'm like, I'm gonna wait a few days, and then like, you guys would start playing, but you'd want to like wait for me so that we can all do things together.
And that's what I'm wondering. If
you remember that happened? The two of us went way ahead, and Peter just got stuck behind until we hit a dungeon.
We scheduled ourselves like badly that week because we took off, but then we like
That
wanted
too.
to do other things, and then.
Well, also the logins didn't help
the
either.
login thing was rough.
It was so bad. Anyway, I think she handled things well-ish, right? Well-ish. I mean,
she tried to, but then if he's keep pushing about it, saying like, "Okay, you're gonna play when you're gonna play," like.
But she also said originally she was like, "Hey, don't play until I'm ready," and then she said, "No, that's not fair to you. Go ahead and play."
Yeah.
But there's a level of excitement, right? Like there is that level of like, I want to play with somebody else. Is it a multiplayer game? Is it something that you want to experience together? Does he feel like he is, not enjoying the game? Like he's enjoying it, but like he'd enjoy it better because he'd be playing with her. Like there's so many like things going on here that it's hard to say who the asshole. It's rather both of them are the asshole or neither of them are the asshole. It's really
we got some fights here.
Do I think she's the asshole? No. Do I think he is the asshole? Not necessarily either. I think it's just bad communication on everybody's part. That's what I
feel
ultimately
like Peter
think.
and I have like been
So-
in this like to a lesser extent where I tend to like go ahead of him because I just have more free time to do things,
Mm-hmm.
and then he gets bummed out that I'm like past where he is, and then he like kind of doesn't want to catch up because then it's like I'm already like way far ahead.
Yeah, that's
Like,
I that's why I say I kind of understand it. I think it's just it is a point where it's like I don't like if it's a time thing, right? For him, it's like, all right, maybe he doesn't have as much time as her to play these games, right? Like for her, 3 days is nothing, and then
Yeah.
she can jump in and she can zoom right past him, and he's like, all right, well, if we're gonna do this together, you know, it like we don't know all we're getting is a very one-sided telling of the situation, and we don't know the whole story. Like the mother thing, I think is fairly correct, right? Or like the other ones have you said of like, hey, my boyfriend's doing this, and like this is what I'm experiencing, and also like I went to a mutual friend to find out if I'm the asshole. Where this is like, is it a communication issue? Is it whose side? You know, like I need more detail. Like I don't want to say like either one's the asshole. I think I need more detail on like. But if I just took it at face value, then he's the asshole.
What do you think?
So I don't think that we necessarily need more information here. And I am firmly on the side that he's the asshole. She is not here. So my reasoning behind this is it sounds like from what I've heard, and this is not going back to like even what you're talking about in terms of like he really wants to play, like that I understand. But the reason why I think he's the asshole and she is not is independent of that. So it sounds like from what she said is that at the beginning of like before all this even started, she was setting a boundary. So she said, this is what I need in order to do
Mm-hmm.
this. He agreed. He understood, or he said he understood, and that's what she needed. Then when it came out, he wanted to play. He presumably was wanting to play with her or wanted to know when she would play to be able to talk about things and ask. I think that's fine. She said she wasn't ready. That happened repeatedly again and again, and eventually she told him to stop
bugging her
saying
about
that.
it, like that's
Yeah.
not helping her
Like,
in any way.
There's the boundary. It's first I said, no, I'm not ready yet. Okay, I've answered your question, but to keep asking again and again and again, and then to the point of having to say, like, please stop asking, is you have pushed past that boundary that has been set. So in that case, in that sense, he is violating that boundary that she's tried to set, which makes him the asshole in this scenario because he is doing something explicitly that she has asked him not to do. And I can understand too, like part of that could be poor communication. Like if the reason why he's asking is because he wants to play with her or because he wants to talk about a specific thing, he should be explaining that, like, hey, I would really like to play with you because I want to see what you think about this part of like what you think about the story.
Yeah.
And her answer is still completely valid of saying, I'm not ready right now. But at least then she knows why he's asking, but he doesn't have to keep going again and again and again. It's the repetitiveness and the like.
Yeah, and they said that
ignoring
they've
that
been together for like
boundary.
7 years, so you think he would kind of understand her, you know,
Right.
her limits and stuff.
If someone says stop, you stop. Right?
Yeah,
like it's
you
not,
do. But
you don't keep asking, hoping that the answer changes.
Again, like we're seeing a very, very cut piece, like the slice of the cake. We don't understand like all like Susan said, 7 years, right? And if this is repetitive action, why are you still with that person? You know, is it
repetitive action in terms of like this instance?
This instance
pattern.
If it's
this instance, he's
definitely
the boundary.
Yeah,
like, right. It's understandable that she flipped out on him because he passed that boundary and he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And if you push past someone's boundaries repeatedly, like they are completely within their right to freak out at you.
Yeah, that's not fair to like back her in a corner like that.
Right? Like take out the gaming part of this at all, right? If someone says, I do not want to do this right now, but I will do it later, and you keep asking, what about now? What about now? What about now? What about now? Like put anything else into that situation outside of games. And I think it would be a lot clearer of saying, like, yeah, you kept being annoying and like pushed them out of their comfort zone and just made them not want to do it at all.
Eat the ravioli. What, eats ravioli? No. What about now?
I
No.
don't want your damn Chef Boyardee.
My beef raviolis. They're the mini
Keep
ones.
asking, I'll show you the beef.
So, again, you know, I mean, I've been in this relationship,
Yeah.
right? Like, so I get it.
But yeah, like, and I think
So
that's
were you
it.
were
It
you
does
the
come down to
pusher or
communication.
The pushy.
Which part of my life?
Yeah, I think it does come down to communication, but I think in this case, she was trying to communicate as best as she could and to get her needs understood, and he failed to communicate at this side.
Yeah,
So he failed to communicate and failed to.
I think based on what we're
Respect her
given,
boundaries.
I think based on what we're given, yes. Again, like I would like to know their side, like, and I'm coming from my past experiences and going my therapy, so there's always two sides of everything, right? Like how is he receiving that information? Like, is she explaining it better on the internet being typed out calm later, or is it like being explained clearly enough, like the way she's typing it versus the way she's actually explaining it to him? There is that level as
I have
well.
a strong feeling that if she's typing it out like that on the internet, she's probably pretty explicit, and especially if with anxiety and whatnot, like you are very careful about not wanting to be misunderstood. Speaking from personal experience.
But some people aren't that way, though. Some people do not explain themselves that well in to their partner, and I only know this from experience, right? Like, and then come to find out later, it's like, oh, I didn't want this. Not that we're trying to like air our stuff out here, but yeah, but like some people do not explain themselves well, or lack that need in a personal conversation. They don't know how to do it, and they think what they're doing is telling you in a very emotional, stable way, and it's not coming off that way. And later on, like what we do hindsight, right, is have a clearer head and can type something out like this is what they're doing. And I'm not listen again. I'm not saying like I said at face value. Yes, he's the asshole, but being a part having been part of that relationship, I know what a not good sense of and a not good form of communicator can someone could be, not explaining themselves correctly to somebody, right? Like, you know, not feeling comfortable in a situation, or not doing this or not doing that because they don't know how to. They didn't know how to express what they wanted correctly, but then later on will tell their friends like, oh, I didn't want this. And their friends come and tell you, or you come find out, or go on Reddit and find that out. It's like, well, okay, yeah, I'm the asshole. Yeah, of course I'm but why do you say so? Like, you know, and then you find out it's like, well, you know, you can play the game if you want, and you come talk to me about the game. And then you go ask them like, oh, I'll play later. Like, okay. Then like they keep asking you because you're not saying, hey, I actually do not want to play this game right now, and this is why. And so
yeah, but I feel like also if you keep asking and saying I'll do it later, you don't constantly keep asking.
You don't. I agree. Like, but you again, like what
it's
is
like a 2-year-old? Can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this?
But
Are you there
again,
yet?
but is it every day? Was it every day? Was it like every hour? Like.
If they were only off for 3 days, like once a day probably wouldn't have like triggered a serious response in that sense.
But maybe it did. We don't know. Like, what if it did? Like, you know, again, like everybody's different, and we can't assume how they're explaining. Again, like, did they say like, hey, they came to me every hour on the hour and asked if I was going to play this damn game with them? Or was it like, hey, every morning they would wake up and be like, we playing the game today? And I'm like, no. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's what I like and dislike about Am I the Asshole, because you're getting a great I love when someone's like, am I the asshole because I'm doing this, and goes into depth detail, or you get like something like this where I'm like, oh, there's nuance and stuff like that. Like the mother thing with the son was very clear. Like I set boundaries, and clearly it was a child, right? Like,
yep.
And the kid went to
Oh,
the
they
grandma. Yeah, like, hey, I set boundaries for my son. My son broke those boundaries. I had a little talking to with him, patted him on his butt, sent him to his room, and Bob's your father. called Nana, and Nana was not mad and not happy with me, and I told Nana to jog off. So, am I the
set
asshole?
boundaries with her,
Yeah,
and then the phone blew up.
and then said, hey. So. I don't know. Like again, I think in the terms of this asshole, and again, I like. Are we typing secret messages someplace?
Oh yeah, no.
I'm putting
I just every
things on the
time
show
Susan,
title.
yeah, just show titles. I just look at them. It's
Oh
great.
boy, Ethan. I like that one.
We have some good contenders this week.
Yeah, but I'm also coming from a place that someone who learn to properly communicate with a partner. Like I still strive to do it the best that I can, and my partner's here, so she can vouch if I'm being truthful or not. But I attempt to like openly communicate with Susan as best as I can, right? Like I try to like express my feelings and set my boundaries and tell her when I do not like something or when I do like something, and she does the same. Like she tries to do the same for her. And I think we respect each other's boundaries. I don't think we've ever like pushed past each other's boundaries, right? I don't think we've.
Yeah, but are you gonna play that game now?
No, because she's already like 80 hours into it, and I can't catch up. So, jog on, man. So.
Oh wow, we have a whole bunch of different.
I have
it gets
been
deep.
waiting in Final Fantasy 14 because I haven't.
I'm caught up in
unlocked
that game. I can do anything.
I haven't unlocked the.
That's
raid
not
yet.
the. I mean, that's not the game I care about right now. It's already all the other games.
Damn.
So, no offense to Final Fantasy 14, but I don't know what to tell you. Like the
I
main
want to
story
know
is.
the rest of the Pandemonium story. I haven't watched anyone's streams. I'm waiting to do it with you.
It's aight.
Yeah.
Or it's just aight.
Yeah, but it's the end. You have to figure out how it
Yeah.
ends.
That's true. All right, we can do that.
If only did a Final Fantasy 14
I know.
podcast.
We only
Right,
did Final
Julie?
Fantasy
Like
14 podcast.
I mean,
one of these days.
it's our Final Fantasy 14 podcast, and we'll not talk about Final Fantasy 14 on it if we choose to. I mean, maybe if they put out a new expansion this year, we'll talk about that.
Would you though? Like,
Would we?
yeah,
Maybe like
we might have an episode for it.
yeah. I feel like at this point, you're just nobody is in a rush to like get to even the current content. Like, I mean, it's not going anywhere, so
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. But
oh, for sure. Right now, no, everyone's playing Final Fantasy 16.
The only thing that I rushed to do was save my house because you mentioned it a few times, and then I finally got the demolition email. I was like, yeah, I need to log in and renew my sub.
yeah, I signed into Final Fantasy the most out of the three of us. So I'm like a user on both of their in-game houses, so I get the little notification saying like
Yeah.
a house that you're on is scheduled for deletion. So I put a message in our little private chat to be like, guys, go to your houses. I don't know which one it is.
It wasn't my
houses
house.
for Susan to play with.
Yeah, my house was fine. I go into it every once in a while. I log on, you just don't see me live. Although you were home, so you saw me log in. So
I go to my island.
I was running around to see
and
what
feed my animals.
to see if I missed the housing. And I did. I missed
Your
it.
lottery.
I missed the lotteries. Yeah, I missed them. Sucks. Oh well, one day. Not today.
Like, is there something?
I'm in a different world
that,
now, so
Like, could something happen with Final Fantasy 14 that would bring it to like the top of your to-do list?
So, if you want my personal opinion,
I do.
so
That's why I'm asking you.
right
How
now,
this works.
I think that with the ending of Endwalker, it put a, not to say that any of the story that they have right now is bad per se. It's just, it was very final.
They called it an end, so it.
Yeah, and I think that was the problem. I think they shouldn't have said, "Hey, this is the." It could have said the end of an arc, maybe. I don't know how you could have saved it.
I don't even think it's necessarily about them saying that it's an end. It's that regardless of how they put it, they just capped off a 10-year storyline,
Yeah.
right? Like, we've been invested in this for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other game I think that any of us have been invested for 10 years in the same storyline.
No.
So do you think it's just
Maybe
the fact that you
Skyrim,
guys
but
need like just time and
That's
space away from it? and
that's
then
different.
you
That's you're playing the
decide to
same
go
game
back?
for a decade. That's not the same storyline.
I think that in this sense, like, it's a relative thing, right? Like, back when Final Fantasy first started, like, or we first started playing, we're like, cool, this is a fun game. We play it, we do a whole bunch of stuff. But then you get more and more invested in this game, and you want to find out what's next. It's like that cliffhanger at the end of your show or your book or whatever you're doing of you need to see the next episode. You need to see the next episode. But when that finally ends, when you finally don't have oh, but what happens next? Because all of your questions are answered, you're kind of done. Part of it is kind of like you feel lost because this thing that that was a constant of what you did is now no longer there. We don't have that theory crafting of like, oh, what's going to happen in Endwalker, or like, are we going to go to another world, or like, there's bits and pieces now, but it feels almost empty compared to how much buildup we had throughout Endwalker and Shadowbringers.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fair. We had 6 years of lead up before, at least 6 years of lead up before both of those games. And we don't have that now. They have to do another 6 years of build up in order for us to get to that point again. They've said that they don't have any interest in doing that again. I don't think that they could pull off another thing like that. Like, there's something special about when you do it the first time, but if you try to replicate that, then like you try too hard.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't go ahead. If you, I was gonna say, like, also if what they're planning on is like one storyline per expansion, which is fine. I don't mind it. But I feel like we'll have a lot of. I feel like it again, I don't feel like 10 years is the right thing, but maybe 2 expansions worth of story might be okay. I'm okay with that. That somehow it continues on to like one more. Because I feel like what's going to happen is we'll have like what we did with Endwalker, right? Like we'll play through everything, have this finality, and then whatever is next, the next expansion stuff is going to start now, like we're doing now, rolling in. We'll have this big finale, and then it'll just be like, all right, then 7.1 is this whole new story. Like, and then it's like, okay, well, all right, like I did all this, and
Well,
it's the
'cause, like even now though, there's still things that are carrying over from before.
yes,
but there were minor plot pieces, right? Like, there's nothing major that's connecting the stories, right? Originally, we had the Asians were the overarching thing for the last 10 years. And in between that, we had things like El Amigo, which was never really invested in at all. And we had Doma, and we had Ishgard, we had the entirety of the first. Like, we just kept stepping up the stakes each time, right? Like, first it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go save Ishgard and free them from this space pope. And then we're like, okay, we're gonna go save 2 different countries now. We have Doma and, oh right, we're supposed to do Al Amigo, so they get 5 minutes of screen time. And then from there, we're just gonna be like, hey, let's go save in a whole other world. And then it's let's go to space. Like, everything just, I have not done the latest MSQ, no. So like, we haven't really, like, it just kept stepping up and up and up and up, and they could keep going, but at that point you're starting to get into a trigger movie, and we're not going there. But so they had to kind of, they realized correctly, I think, that like they've got too big. They finished off all the big storylines, they wrapped up everything nicely, and now we're left back at effectively like season 1.
yeah.
We are back to the beginning.
We're the
starting
spinoff.
fresh.
Oh my god, we're the spinoff show now. And that spinoff
show.
and the spinoff show
But we're not
never
even-
does as good.
We're not even the spin-off show though, like, right? Like, think Naruto. Naruto started it all, and then they had the spin-off with the Shippuden, and that went fairly well. Most of it. Ignore the filler. and that's okay. Then they went to we're in the Boruto era now, which
Oh.
is not so great. But like, and that's what we kind of think. Like, given the fact that we finished this story, there is nothing left of the previous 4 expansions plus the base game that we're really kind of bringing into, except for the characters. There's the same characters, just now everything's starting fresh effectively. What is the difference between let's start playing Final Fantasy right now or let's pick up a new game?
There's no, and everybody's just picking up new stuff.
Exactly. There is no real thing that means like that Final Fantasy has an advantage of over everything else, except that it is Final Fantasy and its systems. And we've been playing those for so many years that they are no longer novel to us.
So how long do we keep active subs?
I've already let mine lapse once, so
I mean, I keep mine because I'm interested.
that was for other reasons.
I mean, I'm interested in to see how like this little story bit ends, right? And like Chili said, 6.5 is we're gonna see the start of the 7.0 like breadcrumbs trail, and I want to see where that goes. I don't know how long it's gonna last. We don't know, right? Like maybe they don't want to do 10 years, maybe they want to do 2 years, maybe they want to do 1 year. We don't know what their plan is. We don't know until FanFest. They may not say how long the storylines are gonna. They might say, hey, listen, like these storylines are gonna last, at least 2 expansions apiece. That way we have some time to flesh out the characters and flesh out the storylines and have you get invested in it a little bit before we tie it off with a bow and send it off. So we're not doing 10 years. I've played a lot of games that do 1 year stories, like 1 expansion storylines. Some of them are not great. Some of them are good. Some of them surprise you. Like you get really surprised by, what they do, but not all of it's good. Like, and I think if you do one storyline, you're locked in, right? Like you don't have a chance to fix it or have it pay off in a way that you want. Your writing has to be so on point. So on point, because if you try to rush it, you get Stormblood, right? Like you get a Stormblood.
Yeah. But at the same time, like doing single season things like that has its benefits of if you have something like Stormblood, you can recover and start fresh the next season. And that's the model that like World of Warcraft has taken. They have had some pretty decent expansions, Dragonflight being probably by far the best that I've heard so far.
It is.
And they've had some really not so great hits, to put it nicely. But
you don't say.
The thing with World of Warcraft, at least, like you can jump into any expansion, right? You can choose to start at Dragonflight and you will not be much behind anyone else. That's just, you jump in there, you play that expansion, and that is your season, that is your story. And it doesn't matter if you played 20 years of past history. Final Fantasy is kind of at that point right now as well. If they go to the single season stuff, you could just jump in at right now, ignore all the previous story, which would be a terrible idea, and then just start fresh, right? If they do it again for the next expansion, you can do the same thing. Just jump in right there and start fresh. But again, at that point, it is, what does Final Fantasy offer that is different from any other game? And we don't have an answer to that. So and that's why we play things like Lost Ark or New World or Palia or Guild Wars or World of Warcraft.
Is there something that they could tell you in the FanFest announcements and stuff that would like hook you back in?
I mean, I'd be interested to see if they offer a new class and what that would be. Because remember, Sage was something very new to them, right? Like they developed Sage for the game, and that was it's still an interesting healing class. Like it's different from other, things I've seen in other games. Like, but other games are also trying new things, and like it's hard to do that now, right? Like we don't talk about WoW a whole lot on this podcast, but World of Warcraft is launching, first of all, the first time they've ever done it, but they're adding a new spec to a class that just released, and it's a pure support class. They've never done that. And I know when I say pure support class, my co-host here is like, is it really yeah, it's really a whole ass support class. Like all it does is buff the other members of your party. That's all it do. No healing, no DPS. Like there's some DPS just so you can quest with it and stuff like that. but truly support class. Like it has all it does is offer like the main point of it, buff the other party members. That's it.
I have lots of skepticism around that.
I kid you, it's wild to me that they're doing it.
Oh,
Wild.
I understand that they're doing it. I am skeptical of how it's going to turn out.
Oh,
I think it's going to be a huge failure.
Oh no, Tal and I are like, well, rather this is going to be the thing that requires you have in all your parties going forward, or
exactly,
or something is.
Because you either have to have it, in which case that means that it is beneficial enough to sacrifice one party slot for something that adds nothing but benefit to everyone else, or it's not going to get that slot, in which case it's never going to be played.
We're going to find out.
So you either have a class that tends to be very, very powerful, or one that is severely underpowered. There is no in between.
There is no in between. Wild times. They're just throwing anything at the wall.
It is possible to have a class like that, but in the system that World of Warcraft has built, I don't think there's no place for it in its system.
Listen, you and I both know that, but I don't know what the hell's
right, and that's why I'm like a very skeptical of it. Like I think it's a good thought on paper. It sounds really cool, but like the underlying foundation of the game does not support that play style, so it's going to be very hard for them to fit it in. Whereas when you take a game and you actually build the support classes in from the get-go, there's a place for those classes, right?
Oh,
You need
I
some
agree.
Sort of crowd control,
yeah.
In terms on top of everything else. When you build in your system like that, it's great. But having one singular support class is not going to solve the issue.
No, it's
not. Now if they went and they said
MMO
we're going to give
with good support classes.
Yes.
EverQuest. Both of them.
1 and 2.
Because they were originally, and this is where the Holy Trinity came from. And the Holy Trinity does not mean DPS, healer, and tank. It is tank, DPS, and control, CC?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, like, it's... Yeah, I think Final Fantasy XI has a little bit of support as well. Support doesn't mean no damage. Support just means that damage is not your main piece. I mained support in EverQuest 2, and I also was one of the top 3 DPS in almost every fight. I was a good support.
It's just me, but did our stream freeze on Twitch? I'm refreshing.
I'm still seeing good, so...
I think it was just you.
Okay, it was just me.
So Shirley would have said something by now, I would hope.
But yeah, there are games that do it. Pantheon is saying that they're going to do it, so I'm skeptical, but since they're building it at the beginning, if they try to do it, they have a better chance than Warcraft trying to shove it in 20 years later.
Yeah, and they really do.
If Warcraft went and decided, instead of saying we're going to release one support spec, if they decided that they were going to release support specs for multiple classes and redesign how encounters worked going forward, maybe.
Well, coming along with that, I know what they're doing in that next patch as well is that they're blocking the mod tools from reading their fights now, their raid fights, so that they can no longer.
You mean they're gonna have to learn how to raid?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I need the thing to tell me when to step out of the stuff.
Oh, I love this so much. I want to see the salt.
Yeah. Oh no, people were no happy. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like because they openly said we're tired of having to fight the community, right? Like it's a race, right? Like to make and they said our raids are becoming so outlandish, like the mechanics are becoming way too outlandish for us to keep up. So they're like, it's done. Like we need to reel it back in and like make things manageable for both us and you. Like we can. So
this is a whole other episode, but like you can still make mechanically interesting fights without having to have effectively like player assisted tools.
Yes, and they know they can do it, but they feel like they. Yeah, I agree. And
beautiful combat encounter design.
Yeah,
kudos to the Final Fantasy team.
Yeah, the Warcraft devs, I think, just knew that they were tired of having to build around that, and they were just like, we can't build around it anymore. And they just openly said, like, it's nothing against you all. We want the community to have fun with having API availability, but we need to be able to make encounters that are just fun and unique, and you guys experience them on a even playing field, and that's it. Like, you know, so anyway,
They're great, but the level of access they had in that sense was too much.
it's way too much. Like, it's
Even Final Fantasy with their add-ons that allow access to all of that, too much.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about speaking of things, you want to talk about the person who touched my face? Because I guess
Well, it kind of ties into the "Am I the asshole?"
it does, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
So you want?
We talked
now
about
I
this on
get
our
it.
Discord, and people wanted an explanation of the story, and Peter said that he would tell it on the podcast.
All right. So,
We're
what was
going back to
coming out?
20
It was
what was this?
2018,
Yeah, sounds right.
right? I feel like that's right.
What is
28,
that
yeah,
again? What is time?
2018, I believe. 2018 Fan Fest.
2018, yep.
Yeah, and it was at the Limit Break Radio after party, and we just got done doing our set interview on LBR. We were one of the first to go on, and then we were out mingling, and then we've all had a couple drinks, and so did everybody else there, because you know, you paid for the open bar if that's what you paid for. And this person, if I remember correctly, was talking to you, and I walked up, and they were like, "Hey, this person knows us." I was like, "All right, hey," and like they're like, and then like openly like just palmed my face and said, "I really love you guys," like, but not in a like slap my face situation, like caress my face like situation. And that person was moist. I don't know. They were so wet. They were like, and I think it's just because they
When you're
were
holding the drink and there's condensation because it's warm out.
sure, or they just had one too many. It was really warm in there too. I remember that place being toasty. So,
Oh, it was full of like.
yeah, there was a
people on the
Fortnite
internet,
competition
so.
going on. There was a lot going on there. So I remember like this person like
Was a
just
night.
openly just touching my face, and this was before pre-pandemic. So this is, and I was like, all right, well, thanks,
A little less
bud.
weird.
Yeah, I was like, hey, well, thanks for nice to meet you. And then they walked away. I don't know if they realized that they just openly touched my face, or I was like, all right, nice to meet. Like I kind of just like brushed it off and like as a thing that had happened. So. You know, not the weirdest thing that happened that night, but you know, also not the.
It wasn't?
Well, no, that's probably up there with the strangest things that happened. Yeah, I mean,
I can't think of many other things that happened that night that were weird.
Yeah, there was
lots of things happening, but
there was the guy that was like, I listen to Maelstrom Radio, but I'm not a fan.
oh yeah, no, but I like that guy.
Yeah, fair.
He's honest.
Yeah, fair.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like I
we
was
get that.
helping you guys give out.
You were the only
business
one
cards.
giving out our stuff.
I handed out a
And
bunch.
I found a guy where I'm like, hey, he kind of thinks he knows who you guys are, and I was excited.
He's like, not a fan. Not a fan. And so there's that. I know I said there was other, I mean, I've had other run-ins, I should say, run-ins with people that listened to
I had the
Maelstrom.
GameStop one, right?
Yeah, there was GameStop near where I used to live in Florida. My old place. Susan, you've been to my old place. There was a GameStop near there, about like 10 minutes down the road. And when I went in there, I was like, I think it was one of the times I was getting something
Is there
from.
like a lightning storm happening in your background?
I hit the plug that my light is on and shut off, and then it turns back on, and it goes full brightness for a second. Yeah.
A haunted house.
And now I can simulate one, just start flashing and strobing.
So I went to go buy something. I think I might have been buying when they still had Final Fantasy 14 time cards. I think I was maybe buying something for like a friend of ours. And I went in there and I heard somebody talk. This is where we're still on Famfrit. So I went in there and I heard someone talking about like, oh yeah, so and so.
Waffle.
Yeah. And they're like, and the person working there was talking to their other coworker, and they're like, oh, you should move to my server. And they're like, oh, what are you on? I'm on FamFrit. And I was like, oh, I'm on FamFrit. Like I just openly said, they're like, you're on FamFrit? I was like, yeah, I play Final Fantasy 14. They're like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, it's like, do you guys listen to any Final Fantasy 14 podcasts? And the young lady was like, yeah, I listen to I like this one called Maelstrom Radio. I was like, yeah. I was like, that's my podcast. I was like, that's me. I'm the boy. And she was like, get out. She's like, you sounded so familiar. I was like, yeah, it's like I do the show with my co-host Quentin. Well, Shinter at the time, because we still used our other names. I was like, yeah, Shinter. Yep. And she's like, yeah, she's like, I listen to you guys every time we like travel, like we go up to conventions. She's like, we download Maelstrom Radio and we like listen to you guys
GameStop person, if you're still listening.
Yeah,
hello.
Shout out if you still out there.
You've been permanently etched into our memories.
Yeah, they would.
Hope you got in on the stock.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, ground floor Maelstrom Radio. Yeah, they would just champion download a bunch of episodes and listen. They said that they really liked the ones where like anytime I tried to like break you, like they said anytime I try to get you to laugh.
Oh no.
Yeah, they like that. Well, that's a thing. We don't really do that kind of podcast anymore. I don't think
it's true.
We don't do anything where I try to like just make you openly laugh anymore.
All right. Maelstrom Radio. There's no humor.
There's no more humor here.
Humor died in 2020.
Yeah. Sorry, internet. There's no more humor in Maelstrom Radio. I apologize.
Experimental comedy has failed.
Burger nuggets.
Oh,
you gotta try harder.
I thought that was gonna be a cat party.
What? For your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Cat party.
Yeah.
I love the noisemaker. really seals it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, on that note.
Happy birthday. I got I have a question before we get out of here, since we've been like an open for
the asshole.
Well, we already knew that. We didn't get to 223 episodes knowing I'm not the asshole. We knew that day one. I think we knew that episode 10 when I punched the table and said no more live letters, like live letter coverage. Well, no more reading all the live letter notes or whatever the hell it was, patch notes. Oh my god. What a bad idea. By the way, here's a tip. If you decide to start a Final Fantasy 14 podcast, never ever read all the patch notes. If you do that, wow. I'm sorry for you. It's grueling. People only want to see what class changes were, what new pets are there, and maybe a mount. Like it's grueling. If you can make it fun, go find it. Chili's like, but we do that on MGR, kind of does not do it. Like, you rather do it or you don't. You got to sell it. You do it or you don't. There's no ifsies on that. You got to commit to the bit or you're not committing to it. So I have a question, because I was also wondering this, and not speaking of the future of the show, just out of curiosity, because I find that more people like when you and I talk about just MMOs in general. Like they're more interested in like what we have to say, not just about Final Fantasy, but all things MMO. Do you ever see this changing? Like, if we ever were to, I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying this is a good.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
I'm confused at where the question's going. So,
oh God, time's a flat circle.
Are we just having a show meeting?
No.
Time is not a flat circle. Time doesn't exist.
Time doesn't exist. If we had the ability to and this is more for like in playtime fun world, if we had more time, right, If time doesn't exist, how can I kill it? By playing Final Fantasy 16.
You can't kill
All your
time, you can kill God.
all your time will go away. Would you think that a podcast where we just talked about MMOs could exist in this world?
Well, I feel like that's what you've been doing, like since
The
I feel like
dawn
that's
of
came
this
back to
podcast.
Final Fantasy. I feel like we've kind of kept a little Final Fantasy, but you've opened it up to like every other like MMO to kind of compare and contrast. And
So trying to keep it on time because I know we're right at the end. I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep it really short and sweet and say yes, I think that something like this could exist.
Yeah.
I am not going to expand on that because we could again have a whole episode on this.
Yeah.
yeah, because I think you
So if anyone's
guys have
interested, let
already
us
like
know.
bridged the gap. Because like first it was just Final Fantasy, then it was like everything else, and now like the two were all intermingled.
And now that first it was Final Fantasy and we talked about Final Fantasy. Then we said we're not really doing that, so let's go talk about everything else. And then it was about everything else. And then we decided that wasn't working for us, so we went back to Final Fantasy, where we said we're doing Final Fantasy, but actually talked about everything else.
and it seems to work.
I'm not gonna play the video game.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it.
Anyways, with that note, we are well on time.
Yeah, sometimes you get a login, and it's not so bad.
Do we have any Susan? Is there anything you want to shout out or talk about at the end of this episode?
Yeah.
Since
Really?
you are a guest
We're all-
and it is your birthday.
Yeah, we're all here for you.
No, I'm good.
That's it? Nothing?
Was there
We-
something I was supposed to bring up? That
No,
I'm
I don't
not
know, I
supposed to
just-
hint on?
I don't know.
We
You're
give
only
all of our guests the opportunity.
yeah. I mean, you're usually here like maybe twice a year. So
More than that.
I mean, you're here all year, but in the background. So on show, different.
Yeah, I'm here and there. I mean, I was on air a couple weeks ago when we did the wholesome direct.
Yeah,
Fun.
yeah. You like that? Did you-
I did like that.
Why
Okay.
the
You have business?
why did the cowboy why the cowboy got a dachshund dash so he could get a long little doggy? I love it. Dachshund. No? All right. Well,
Well, on that note.
yep.
So long, little doggy.
Listen, when I do a bad joke, I still think that's the greatest.
Yeah, but you need to get that, so it just did that and then played us off
Oh, I wish.
next time.
Yeah. Well. How do we
You got the music.
I do have the music.
Yeah, we're hands off.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of
Final Fantasy.
Maelstrom Radio Podcast. I will never. By the way, I found that video again, and there's still more stuff in there I can pull.
Oh yeah, it was a gold mine.
Oh my god, such a great video. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Happy birthday to producer SusanSprinkle.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Also, I turned older this past Sunday.
Oh yeah, Peter had a birthday too. It just wasn't on a podcast day, so we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, it's not important. So, I forgot how old I am. 30 something.
You are in the 30-somethings, and
And we just don't talk about Bruno.
We have
That's...
each of the brackets covered. We got 20 something, 30 something.
Wait, 20 something.
where do we have the 20-somethings?
Who's covering?
20 something Quentin? I don't know how old Quentin is for some.
I
No,
have
don't
been
know.
30 for multiple years.
Okay. For some reason, I thought Quentin was younger.
No, we're
I was, and then we hit the pandemic.
yeah. Quentin and I are old grizzled MMO players at this point.
Yeah.
Anything we say just sounds like we're just angry at MMOs.
I mean, I think Paul was the youngest out of like all of us by a good margin.
Yeah, Paul's the
And
youngest.
I think he's getting close to the 30s now too.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Yeah.
Well,
Can we
on
change
that
the name of the
note,
show to Podcast Yells at Cloud?
maybe that could probably be a show title.
must be the oldies.
And it
if the
even
old
like
timers
has a
guild's
Final
still hanging
Fantasy
out.
tie-in.
MM Moldies.
No, that does not sound right.
Mortimer would be a good mascot then, because he's mold colored.
He is
He's
moldy.
Aw.
Oh god, I'm heading towards my 40s. Yeah, Shelly, congratulations.
I know. Well, Chili, once you turn 40, you can't play Final Fantasy 14 anymore. That's the rule because it's got cat girls in it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the rule.
If I ever hit 40, I'm gonna visit Japan. That's a really morbid thing to say.
Yeah.
Is it? Are you
Why
bet?
does that sound like it's like a punishment or something?
Yeah, if I hit 40, I'm going to Japan.
Yeah.
all right, Grandpa, chill out.
Yeah, go to Japan if you want to.
Beautiful country. You can just enjoy it. You don't have to hate it.
Maybe we can all go together.
I'm gonna go to 7-Eleven and eat myself a good sandwich.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I would not, because there's meat buns there, and I don't think that I could say no to getting a meat bun.
Yeah, but I couldn't say no to getting one of those egg salad sandwiches that they.
I mean, you can, but I would still go with the meat bun.
I would go with both.
Yeah.
It's like
Ooh,
in
bread's
I
good
would
there.
like to try the egg salad.
Melon bread?
Japan is amazing.
Yes,
Octopus
melon bread.
balls.
Oh yeah, those like sandwiches with the fruit in them.
I would try the octopus balls. They
No, like there's actually a thing called melon bread.
Yeah,
Like a sweet bread.
Susan,
Delicious.
we had melon bread like a month ago, or when we went to
Takoyaki.
Ohio. Remember, I bought melon bread. Yeah, pineapple melon bread.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It was very good. It just had like pineapple like syrup glaze, which was on top.
All right. So the
Takoyaki
ending
is
of the
also
show
pretty good.
is we're all going to Japan.
Yeah,
Sold.
yeah, I'll go
Next
to
year.
Japan.
Let's go.
Oh my god. I don't work a job where I can like take off that significant amount of time. I would need to go to Japan. I would love that so much. I gotta figure out how to work from home so I can work in Japan and nobody notices me going.
No, but Peter and I have talked like offline about how we would like to take a trip with Quentin to Japan.
I would
I've
also
only been 3 times. I need to go a lot more.
I would also like to go to Ireland and Scotland, so there's that as well.
We're gonna do that. I feel like we should also somehow meet up with Chili.
Well, yeah,
I
of
mean,
course we'd have to meet up with Chili and Paul if we're going that way.
yeah. I mean, also
Convince them to come to Scotland or Ireland.
there's a lot of whiskey over there, so.
That's true.
Also, I know a handsome ginger man that would want to buy me alcohol, so
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we'd have to meet up with Tibian as well.
yeah.
I feel like you can convince him to go to Scotland.
He's slipped. Yeah, no, he slipped in my DMs before. He's like, "How can I get this to you?" I'll let you extrapolate with that.
Oh, see, Chili's on board for a Scotland trip.
I would travel to
Alright.
Scotland. I
I
haven't
think these are
been
things
since.
we need to talk about offline because
Okay.
I really would like to like plan
Yes.
things.
Okay. You just don't want. Let's go right now.
Yeah.
Well, since we're not having great outros here, you can find us streaming on Twitch all the time. Hey, look, we disappeared off of Twitch again.
We-
We're back. Yeah,
Yeah.
Peter
Come on,
dropped
Peter.
us.
What are you doing?
You can find us streaming on Twitch. Check our social media for our schedule, and come say hi. I'm going to be chilling out on Sunday again.
yeah.
Another season of Hello Good Boy.
Yeah, probably.
Is it the last
Get
one?
through it. I think so. I got the true ending last time,
Mm.
but I should be able to unlock all of the endings this time.
You can
For
watch all of Quentin's VODs from Hello Good Boy on our YouTube.
2 more time. I have 2 more playthroughs to get through all of the different possible combinations, though. So
Also,
might be able to do them both this
the
weekend. We'll
the
see.
developer
It's pretty
tweeted at
fast.
you, thanking you for
Yeah.
doing multiple playthroughs.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I'm not on
Yeah,
Twitter, but thank you.
On the Maelstrom
a great game.
Twitter, they
Yeah, they
responded.
they responded, so they're excited that you kept playing through it.
Thank them for me. It was great. Love the games.
We'll do.
10 out of 10. You can pet the dog. You can high five the dog. You can hug the dog. And you can scritch the dog behind the ears.
That's a lot you can do with the dog.
You can do a lot with a dog. Yeah.
Can you do that much with a Torgal in Final Fantasy 16?
No.
Don't know yet.
I know you can pet Torgal.
That's great.
Yes. That was my attempt at the business.
I like it.
That was good.
It was a good solid business.
Yeah.
Chili says you can pet the dog, you can, and then comma can feed the dog. Hot dog. With that,
Eat the dog.
don't. What up, dog? Anyway, thanks for listening to this episode of Maelstrom Radio. Happy birthday again to Susan. Quentin's gonna go feed the dog. And I'm gonna, I don't know what we're gonna do after this. What up?
Yeah, Peter's gonna go get some up dog.
Yeah, we're gonna, then after this, we're gonna get up some up dog. So maybe some E10. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, thank you for listening. As always, till see swallows all. Keep listening.